Hi guys, we're going to be doing the IT rules 2021 today, and the way we're going to proceed is that I'm going to pull up my screen and I made a set of notes on these. And what you can do is take any compendiums or personal notes that you have on IT rules and add it to this. So by the end of it, you have like a comprehensive set you can refer to before the examination. Let me just pull up my screen. I'll share the notes in the description box so you can just download them. So I've made these notes from largely three sources, which are UPSC websites and also a few newspaper articles, right? So the reason this is a news is that there was a 3 month deadline that was given to social media companies to comply with the said IT rules 2021. This deadline ended on 25th of May, and certain companies showed non-compliance, right? So this brings us into the discussion of the IT rules in India. A, how did it come into being? B, certain provisions that are new to it, and C, what does it mean for these companies that don't comply with these rules. Further, while going through like newspaper articles on this, I found one article that discussed how Signal, which is a messaging app with more than 50 lakh users, also didn't comply with the said rules. This was in response to a RTI that the government responded to this. So that might be kept in mind. We could get a question from there. So the background of these rules are as follows, right? There are three sections: 69A subclause 2, 79 2C, and 87 of the Information Technology Act of 2000. And these under these sections, the new IT rules have been passed. These rules now replace the earlier rules of information technology rules of 2011. So you can straight up get an MCQ from here. You definitely, if there's a passage on this, you should expect an MCQ from either this or this. What did it replace and what sections was it passed under, right? Now these rules, they deal with two things. They deal with social media companies and over the top platforms, right? The background or the history behind this rule is that the Supreme Court of India had said that the government needs to frame certain rules in light of the graphic content that's there on applications and platforms, right? So, in pursuance to that, there was an ad hoc committee that was set up by Rajya Sabha, and in that they said that there were like certain grave implications or effects of such graphic content on both children and larger society. So there needs to be like identification of the first originator of such content. So the government, in response to this, brought video streaming over the top platforms, OTT platforms, under the ambit of information and Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. This is pretty important, right? Following which, post the deadline, the government went ahead and sent this letter to all of the social media intermediaries, asking them what their status of compliance is, where they are on appointing a grievance officer, etc. This is important because under Section 79 of the Information Technology Act, even if these intermediaries, later comply with these rules, they won't be exposed to liabilities or penalties. But WhatsApp went ahead and actually filed a lawsuit against the government of India. So they said that, and this was in respect to one particular rule. This was in respect to the rule of Rule 4 2 of IT Rules 2021, which deals with tracing of WhatsApp chats. Now, WhatsApp obviously came ahead and said that, hey, listen, this is going to break end-to-end encryption and also undermine people's right to privacy. And if you remember correctly, the landmark judgment on right to privacy is the Puttaswamy judgment of 2017, right? So, in response to this, the government came and said that, look, this tracing is only in very specific special circumstances. It's when it's related to offense of sovereignty and integrity of India and all of these other things that are mentioned over here, right? So basically, that these rules are not very broad. They're not applying to everyone. They're exclusive to certain like circumstances. And the government also secondly argued that the law passes the proportionality test. This is something that you're going to study when you come to law school too in depth. It's that under Article 21, the means that you adopt in order to meet a particular end, right? That is reasonable or proportional, right? So the course you're following or the procedure you're following in order to get a result is reasonable. So this is the two-prong argument that government of India did. So what do these IT rules or the non-compliance of these IT rules mean for these companies? So it basically, under Rule 7 of the 2021 Act, if they fail to like comply with the rules, they lose the protection that they get under Section 79. So what protection do they currently get? So say for example, a person goes on a social media platform, like I go and I post something defamatory, I tweet something defamatory or something problematic. Twitter will not be liable because I'm a third party who's posting over there. The only obligation that they have is that they have to take down such illegal content if they notice it themselves, that is highlighted by the state or the courts, or third, that an aggrieved or responsible party, intimates them of the same. So that's the only obligation. Apart from that, they don't really, they don't have to, they're immune from any content that's posted by a third party. But because they're not complying to it, or non-compliance by any social media company exposes them to this liability, right? Both civil and criminal liability about anything illegal that is posted, right? So this is like a huge drawback for them. Further, there are obviously a lot of new provisions that have been brought into place by these new rules as compared to the earlier 2011 Act. So that you can go in depth and actually study about them. But according to me, the most important is the three-level grievance redressal system, and also that they have to appoint a chief compliance officer, and they have to publish a monthly report, and they also have to have a nodal point of contact, right? So I've actually mentioned a lot of this over here, in the sense that there are five categories of self classification that OTT platforms have to comply to. So now they have to classify the content that is on, say, Netflix, right? That this is suitable for someone who's 7 plus, this is suitable for someone who's 13 plus. So they have like five levels for that. There's universal, anyone can watch it, and there's 7 plus, 13 plus, 16 plus, and adult, right? So apart from that, among these categories also there is some degree of compliance that needs to be met in terms of installing parental lock systems for 13 plus categories, or age verification for adult categories, right? So you can go through the stuff, you don't have to rote learn any of it, apart from say the important stuff like five category classification, or the appointment of a grievance officer, or this three-step redressal mechanism. So this three-step redressal mechanism or a redressal officer is very important, because they could ask you, say for example, how many days does the complaint need to be addressed within? So that's 15 days. Or what are the three levels of self-regulating? Like one of the levels you can get a question about it, right? So you can go through this, you can understand the broad context in which these are set, and pick out certain details. I'm pretty sure you've identified how to do so by studying so much of current affairs through the year. I've mentioned the link to Drishti IAS, which has like properly mentioned the important stuff from the rules. If you want to be even more thorough, simply Google the rules and go through it, skim through it, and you should be able to like retain the important information. So like I said, any additional information that you have in your own personal notes, just come back, download these notes and add it over here. Your aim is to like have these important topics at your tips. So like a day before the examination, when you don't have to do any additional stuff, you can simply go through these important topics once more. Even the new IT minister is important, I think, for the strategy of this, because he's been newly appointed, right? Mm, I think that's all from here. Just a general piece of advice before we conclude. So, I mean, I was in your position, right? A year back, yeah, and I understand how it can be a lot to take in and a lot to face, especially because we've never really given examinations under such pressure. So don't let that stress get to you. Make sure that you don't let anxieties, etc., come in between you attempting the paper, because I have seen so many people who have the ability to score so much better on a paper, but just because of their general anxiety, their test taking skills deteriorate, right? So this is even more important in light of, say, CLAT, because CLAT has always been notorious for a surprise element in their paper, for people to just be like, okay, wait, this wasn't what I was expecting. So just make sure that you enter the examination hall with the right mindset. What worked for me was that I entered thinking that I have 2 hours and I have a set of 150 questions, and I need to like maximize it. I need to score the best I can in those 2 hours. Nothing else was on my mind. I wasn't thinking what would happen post clat. If like say GK was going my way, I didn't get too excited. Neither did I get disheartened when I saw the math section, right? So that's your aim. Your aim is to have a positive mindset. to take a breath if you're feeling overwhelmed and just give it your 100%. Apart from that, everything is gonna, fall into place. That's all for today, guys. All the best. I believe in you. Do well. And if you have any other queries, if you want me to cover any other topic in these 2 3 days, just mention it in the comment box and I'd be happy to. Bye bye.